Good day, my name is Katrina, and today we intend to speak about the shape of brows which we can choose and which look ideally for specific type of the face. Unfortunately, this type of the information very rare is given to by any academies, by any schools. It came to me from my experience, from my many years knowledge of different magazines, different let's say videos, met so many teachers worldwide. None of the schools gave me this information. Yeah, that's quite interesting, but it's the most actually important. While you meet your guest, while you meet your client, the first point you need to decide what brows for these features of the face would suit the most. So the nature definitely gave us already the brows, and you know that our guide is our face when we draw something. When we want to draw the, let's say, the brows, the lips, the eyeliner, so we look at our original brows. We need only wisely underline it, wisely design it, that because the good brows can open the eyes, the good brows can give the lift of the face, the good brows can make you look not tight if you are, or probably younger, so and not sad, so as it often happens. So that's why we are here to correct the problematic zone or enhance the beauty. So the first thing which we must always remember, nature already gave us the brows, and we must always, the rule number one, remember that we must follow their natural brows, enhancing that. Though if you have some defect, you are the one who must correct it. So the beginners, usually the students, so they usually make mistakes, then they look at the face, they're at the loss, they don't know either it's more oval or it's already round, so it's easy enough. You must always look at the length and at the width, and this will give you the reply exactly what kind of face it is. Let's look at the first face. So we said that we will divide the faces into 4 different categories, plus minus. So the first one is a category of the oval face. Actually, I cannot call it oval, it's like the one which is a long one, you know, like longer than the normal oval. So usually this kind of face it will be the one the length will be longer than the width of the face. That's how you will know that it's not a normal oval face, it's already kind of the longer one. So if it's long enough, we need anyhow to widen it. How we can widen it? If we make the archy brows, so it will not, it will be on the contrary, right? It will look even probably much longer effect we will create. So here is the only one way. There is no any other brows will suit. You must make as straight as possible to make them wider apart. So this is the right thing must be. Of course, everybody knows that the oval face is the best ideal face where any kind of brows would suit ideally. So though it's always preferable, either it will be more straight or like with small arch, not like high arch much. So this kind of oval face. What is this kind of face? Just imagine, there are lots of the faces usually when the forehead is wider than the chin. So it will be much wider than the chin one down, the upper part wider than the down part. So imagine if we put the straight brows here, it will give us more wide view of the forehead. So what we can do here? Here we can just make brows slightly upper, with slightly up arch. Slight arch, not big, like not very high arch. Just we need to find like a golden middle in this shape that we will cover anyhow, that there is like not a much proportional face. So actually this kind of the brows would suit absolutely every feature, every face. So okay, so this is one part of the oval, let's say, faces. The second part category of the face is a round face, where you will see quite often, and when unfortunately women become older, they started to become more oval features. So quite often the women in this category, they already have round brows, and they round face, and also their brows are round. That looks, of course, it will add defect in your face. So here definitely we can go or for high arch, or much better, just for medium arch. Make it just slightly arch. So this kind of brow, it will be focusing on the face, on this brow, so it will enhance the beauty, and you will not pay attention much a very round shape of the face. So, and another category of the face, of course, it's a square. Square, it can be triangle, it can be like the upper part is wider, is more narrow, and down is more wider. So it's different, they give different names for these faces, but it's only one answer. If you see the sharp features of the face, this is kind of category of square faces, whatever they have. The jaws here very sharp, and here chin very sharp, it's kind of category of square faces. So in square faces, in category of sharp features, sharp corners on the face, you cannot first of all make quite dark brows. It will look like boom, boom, boom. It will look, you will create much older looking. It will look not harmonical. It will look, you need to find something in the middle again. To make it straight for the square, to make it straight brows, definitely no. It will be boom, boom, boom. So no way. So there is only one way again, not to make it, let's say, so you will create brows with arch, slightly arch or high arch would look absolutely ideal, and it will be something in the middle of the brow. So let's say, to make story short, this kind of brows really would suit so many features. You will never make mistake in that. So just remember, you cannot go like, the tail cannot be more lower than the head of the brow, otherwise you will create very sad effect on the brows. So usually this category of the people, they have, like eyes little bit down looking and brows like that. So it's very often, by the way, you can meet, and even in this category quite often. So what you can do in this with these brows, definitely you cannot go so much archy. If you do it so much archy, it will be no proportional face. So here the eye will look down, it will look not harmonical, and symmetry is harmony, we know that. So we need to create our target to create harmonical looking of the face. So that's how we will must remove the tail of this brow, and anyhow try to make again archy. A bit arch, slightly arch, not very high arch. Again, I repeat, if it will be very high arch, it will be very high distance between the eyes. So it will look absolutely unprofessional. So, and you see, so it will look, there is something like wrong would be with that person when we look at him. So at her. So, and just slightly arch would look again ideal, and this type category of their clients always advise to put here the liner or the shadow to create the eye look much higher. Yes, so we know that the ideal eye, it's when the inner corner of the eye always more down than the outer part of the eye. So this is the first thing which we need to know when we create the brows. So we look at the client, we look at the face shape. In our minds already we know what's allowed, what not allowed, even if your natural brows tell us like they're very close set or far apart set. So we need just to look first at our features. Of the face. This is the first thing which will give you the right reply, which brows you need to draw. The second thing, you will always look at the eyes of the person. So you will look at the eyes of the person. Let's imagine these are the eyes. Let's imagine. So visually, of course, you will not create any line, just visually create the line between the eyes. So if this line, if inner and outer corner are the same on the same level, this means you can create for this kind of the face even the more straight brows or little bit with slight curved, because it suits everyone. If your eyes, let's say, so can you see how your line going? Your line not going, your line going down. You cannot connect them. It means the inner side is much upper than the outer one. Definitely this is a defect. Definitely you will not do the brows by this way, because it always will create the set of your client. So you need to remove, as I explained already here. So, and ideal of course eyes is when our inner is much lower than the upper. Then our line will be the same as brows. As our brows always we must design, and it's going higher and higher. So this is the right exactly explanation. Then always remember, if our eyes are very close set, you must maximum to make brows far apart, to place them far apart. If our eyes are set far apart, you must try maximum to bring the brows much closer to each other. Don't forget, when you bring the brows much closer to each other and much more thick, so you will always create like little bit more edges to the woman. That's why we always highly recommend for the older women to make a little bit, not as thin, at least the medium brows, not as thick ones and not as dark. And the last thing which is very important to note, when we decide which design of the brow we should create, we look at the forehead. If we see that forehead is quite small, or on the contrary quite higher ones, so definitely what we will do, so we will not make very arch for the short one, we will make like curved, like slightly curved, like slight angle. Or on the contrary, if it's a very high forehead, like usually Africans by the way have, then we highly recommend, of course, you can be more with higher arch, so it will visually at least little bit slightly, let's say, make the face looking shorter, and try always bring it more close to this part. And always remember, when we draw the brows, it's approximately 1 centimeter. They start left and right from our middle point. It's where the brows start, in approximately 1 centimeter start. So approximately our brow 6 centimeter. For men it's always more, it's even 7 and sometimes even reach 8, 7.5. So I hope this information was useful enough. So follow us on all our channels, and thank you for your watching us. Bye.